And joining us now, Father Michael Pfleger. He's been the pastor at St. Sabina Church in the south side of Chicago for over 30 years. Father, thank you for being with us. You were with Governor Pritzker at his news conference yesterday, where he warned the president is not to send the National Guard troops to Chicago. What are you hearing from members of your community about all of this?
Absolutely, Anna, do not want them here. We do not want to walk out on our streets. We have communities that are already traumatized by poverty, by poor school systems, by violence that has taken place over the years. We're seeing this decrease now. We're seeing the numbers go down. But the last thing we need to walk out on our stores and our houses of worship and our homes and see military on our streets. And militarization does not make people feel safer. It makes people feel afraid. And it makes people feel like they shouldn't come out, or they don't trust the military. They don't trust this kind of imposition of putting them on our streets as if we have to live under their strength and their takeover. It's the worst thing that could happen right now in Chicago. We've built also a good relationship with working with police. For instance, our district, we have built a lot of hard work to make a strong relationship working with law enforcement. Then you bring in people from another state and setting them on your corners where there's no relationship, where there's no training, where there's no community that's been built up. It's not a good thing at all.
You're right about the crime numbers coming down. Chicago police say the city's murder rate is down 32% from last year, for example. But the city is still averaging over a killing a day. There were 3 homicides just this past weekend. 27 people were shot. What do you say to those who feel more can be done and should be done on the issue of public safety?
Well, I think we all feel we still have to do more. I mean, as long as there's one person that's shot or killed, no matter what the numbers are, to that mother who lost her child this weekend, it means nothing at all. But the reality is that we found mechanisms from some CBI and crime and intervention on the streets to working with police to programs and that we have going on in our communities to helping people get jobs, helping people get back into school. We've seen the success rate. So it's crazy to me is to say we see things that now after all these years of trying this and trying that, what are working, and the numbers are coming down. And then you have this president take $800 million out of grants for violence prevention that are working on $158 million right here in Chicago and Illinois, that of these programs that we see that are successful, and now you're stripping them of their funding and want to use that money to come in and bring National Guard. That's not what works. You got to get to the root of the problem. It's education, it's jobs, it's housing, it's building up strong communities, it's economic development. Go to the root. Let's not band-aid it. National Guard come in, they're here a month, and people are frightened and live in this kind of atmosphere. Then you pull them out, we still have the same problem.
You talk about getting to the root of the problem, and of course people want to feel safe. President Trump is aware of that politically. He's playing to people's fears. Governor Pritzker has been very outspoken against the administration's plan to send National Guard troops. Here's some of what he said yesterday at his press conference.
If you hurt my people, nothing will stop me, not time or political circumstance, from making sure that you face justice under our constitutional rule of law.
Father, if the president does ultimately deploy National Guard troops to your city, will there be pushback? What could that look like?
Well, I think there will be. I mean, we intend to do that. And whatever I think is when we see civil disobedience, we don't want anything violent, but we have to resist. We have to stand up. One of the things, Anna, that is really concerning me is that we're playing in this country too much right now. And many with the Democrats are trying to play nice with him. But we got to sit down. We got to talk. We got to work. They are not playing nice. We got a dictator in the White House. We got a fascist who works on bullying and threatening and intimidation. And you can't have a conversation of reality of what's going on with him. He has no check in the House, in the Senate, the Supreme Court are all in his pocket.
Joining me now is Bishop Matthew Hyde, head of the Episcopal Diocese of New York. Thank you, Bishop, for joining us. And you and I have worked together on several projects. Nothing, I think, though, moved me more as a historic occasion than the church standing up on this. Tell us how your church arrived at this very difficult decision.
We're very proud of what the presiding bishop did this week, Rev, because it so deeply honors what we value, to respect the dignity of every human person and to care most for those who are most vulnerable. What the government had asked Episcopal Migration Ministries to do, as the presiding bishop said, was exactly the opposite. The work of migration ministries across the United States has been deeply compromised by the administration's policies, and this decision this week honors what we value and avoids complicity with something that's deeply wrong.
Now, for those at home who don't know the history, why are religious groups involved in the task of refugee resettlement in the first place?
Well, we believe this work is core to our faith, core to the gospel, to welcome people to the United States who have come fleeing danger from all over the planet and to help them find safe home, safe belonging here. And as you well said, Episcopal Migration Ministries has been doing this work for 40 years in administrations of both parties. And so this so fully honors what we value and receives people in a way that helps them find a new life. We used to call this the American dream.
Now, I noticed in the bishop's statement, he talked about how they had a great working relationship with the churches in South Africa. They were concerned about the racial aspect of this. We talked in the last segment about one of the Afrikaner refugees who, according to reporting, has made anti-Semitic comments on social media in the past. That man has argued his comments were taken out of context. But I also was interested to learn that he's being helped now by a Jewish resettlement organization. Your church made the difficult but understandable decision not to help these particular refugees. How do you remain hopeful that this resettlement, even if it's being done for questionable reasons, could still lead to a dialogue that could be helpful?
We're always looking for dialogue and for conversation. The Episcopal Church of the United States has been changed by our relationship with the church in South Africa. We were, as you were, active in the fight against apartheid in the 80s and the 90s and saw how reconciliation was possible. And the Archbishop of South Africa, the Anglican Archbishop of South Africa, thanked the presiding bishop for this decision this week because it honors our partnership, honors what we learned and how we've been changed by this relationship globally. Human rights globally comes back to civil rights locally, and this decision respects that.
Now, this isn't the first time the Episcopalian Church has waded into politics, not even the first time in this Trump term. I last spoke with you in March on this show after Bishop Marion Budde angered the president by urging him to show mercy to groups who felt they might be targeted by his incoming administration during the inaugural service. How do you think this Trump presidency is challenging the spiritual mission of your church right now?
Well, I think what's happening out in the world encourages us to step up and step forward and to speak up for what we believe and for the people in all of our communities, all of our neighborhoods who are most vulnerable. And I'm proud that Bishop Budde did that in January. I'm very proud of what the presiding bishop did this week. I'm proud of how our local congregations across New York, and I know it's true across the Episcopal Church, are stepping up every single day to work with our neighbors, to create new dialogue, and to be part of seeing each other for places of safe belonging in the world. We are challenged by this moment, and the Episcopal Church is stepping up to respond to the challenge.
Before I let you go, I know we're out of time, but I must get your take on the new American Pope. The head of the Catholic Church has a major influence over the role that all faith groups play in the global humanitarian and advocacy work. What is your impression of the Pope Leo so far?
Well, we are praying with our Roman Catholic siblings in the United States and around the world and know how excited our siblings in the United States are for the election of the new Pope. The new Pope has deeply moved all of us. His history in Peru, walking the streets, being with people, has exactly what we want to do locally here in New York and across the United States. And so we look forward to working ecumenically to welcome the new Pope and to be church together at this moment, step up to what God's called us to do.
Now, as I've said, you and I have worked together for the last few years or months at various causes to help the needy. We have other things we're planning to continue to do, especially in the area of migrants and the needy. In your opinion, how do we change hearts and minds in the country so we can start to discuss immigration in terms of compassion and not competition?
Well, that's exactly right. And Rev really well said. We are all of us part of shaping the culture right now. And we have the chance, every single one of us, to shape a culture of generosity rather than a culture of scarcity, to be people of care, connection, and courage rather than cruelty, carelessness, and loss. We can do this together. And so we're going to give the opportunity this summer for people to tell their stories about how they're doing these small acts in all of our communities. We are forming culture together, and we can be part of a rising in this moment. And we'll do that together. I'm grateful for the partnership, Rev.
Here's the breaking news. You wouldn't believe this. Donald Trump was just thrown out of a church. Yes, a former president kicked out of a holy place after delivering a speech so disturbing. Left people in the pews furious, disgusted, and demanding. Let that sink in. When a church of all places rejects you, you know something has gone terribly wrong. Picture it. Trump walks in and expecting applauses, maybe even respect instead, after he mocked the sermon as boring, as the bishop's words as nasty. The congregation had enough. He wasn't mad, with honor. He was shown the door. And honestly, think about how wild that is. Churches usually avoid direct confrontation with political leaders. But here, the moment his insults crossed the line, the faith community pushed back. That speaks volumes. Trump demanded apologists, called the service uninspiring, even accused the bishop of being political. But what he really showed us is how thin-skinned and disconnected he has become. Imagine being in a sacred place, meant for prayer, for compassion, and turning it into a rally of bitterness? No wonder people turn on him. For me, this wasn't just another drama moment. It was symbolic. A place built on faith and unity reject division and hate. That is something we rarely see play out so publicly, and it hit hard. So, here's my question to you. Was this a turning point? Did Trump finally cross a line that even the church wouldn't tolerate? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if you agree. It's time to call this behavior out and share this so more people see what really happened. Because sometimes the truth is louder than the speech itself. Thank you for watching.